Cours d'anglais.
Prepositions of time. Prepositions of time. Alors, prepositions of time. In, at, on. Introduction. There are three prepositions in English that are used with time: in, at, on. Generally, in shows the largest time or place. On shows dates and time. And at usually shows the smallest time or place. We use in, on, and at for lots of different times. Here is a table comparing the uses. In, on, at. In, for example, in months, like in January, in April. In seasons, for example, in spring, in winter. In years, for example, in 1984, in 2015. Centuries, for example, in the 20th century. In the 20th century. Times of day, for example, in the morning, in the evening. Longer periods of time, for example, in the past, in the 1990s, in the holidays. Now on. Days of the week, for example, on Monday, days plus parts of days, like on Tuesday afternoon, on Saturday mornings. Dates on November 22nd, on November 22nd. Special days like on my birthday. Now at. Clock times like at 7:30 a.m. or at 7:30 a.m. At 5 o'clock. Also, exceptions. At night, at the weekend, at the weekend. Grammar explanation. At. We usually use at with clock times and meal times. For example, I get up at 6:30 a.m. and go for a walk. Another example, she doesn't like to leave the office at lunchtime. At. We also use at with some specific phrases such as at the weekend and at night. At the weekend, I can spend the days how I like. At the weekend, I can spend the days how I like. We can also say on weekends or on the weekend. This is more common in American English. We say at night when we mean all of the night, but we say in the night when we want to talk about a specific time during the night. Examples: she's a nurse and she works at night. The baby often wakes up in the night. We use at with some other holidays that last several days, like at Chinese New Year. Many people go home to their families. Like before, grammar explanation. Clock times meal times and breaks, other time phrases. Clock times: at 6 o'clock, at 9:30, at 1 o'clock. Meal times and breaks: at breakfast time, at lunch time, at dinner time, at break time. Other time phrases: at weekend, at nights, at the weekend. In. We usually use in with parts of the day and longer periods of time, such as months, seasons, and years. For example, I usually relax in the evening. In summer, it's too hot to do anything. I'm always really busy in December. So, in, we use it. Parts of the day, months, seasons, years, centuries, decades, other time phrases. Parts of the day. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Months: in January, in February. Seasons: in spring or in the spring, like you want, as you want. In the summer, in the autumn, or in the winter. Years, centuries, decades. In 2016, in the 21st century, in the 18th. Other time phrases: in the past, in the future, in the last few years, in the last few months, in the last few weeks, in the last few days. On. We usually use on with days and dates. For example, on Fridays, I have a long lunch. On Fridays, I have a long lunch. Another example, it's his birthday on 19 October. Days and dates. For example, on Monday, on Tuesday, etc. On my birthday, on New Year's Day. Dates: on 30 July, on the 2nd of August.